Grumble and Growl on Oria TV. Welcome back to Grumble and Growl. I'm Gail Tosh, your host, as we examine issues from the local to the global perspective so that you can make better choices. Folks, I saw a news story that just made my blood boil. Some CEO was calling workers asking for better pay and working conditions arrogant. Are you kidding me? I had to check to make sure it wasn't a joke. CEOs are the most overpaid and arrogant workers, if you can call them that, out there. The average CEO now gets paid nearly 400% more than the average Jane and the average Joe worker at their company. And for what? Do you think Jeff Bezos is doing 400% more work in any given week than an Amazon factory worker? Not unless you count lounging out on your mega yacht work. And these guys have the nerve to call everyday employees greedy. Seems like they need a mirror. By the way, these workers, they're not asking for anything crazy. As you may have heard, there's been a wave of strikes lately, from the film industry to auto workers to baristas. And for good reason. Wages in this country have been virtually stagnant for decades, while the cost of living continues to skyrocket. It's just ridiculous. There is no reason why someone working a full-time job shouldn't be able to afford groceries or rent. Here at Grumble and Growl, we stand with unions and we think you should too. Why, you ask? Well, let me ask you a question. Do you like the weekend? Not this weekend. This weekend. I know it's a dumb question, duh. Of course you like the weekend. Well, the next time you're having a lazy Sunday or sharing a TGIF meme, thank your union. Without them, we wouldn't have the 40-hour work week. Without unions, instead of picking up our kids from math class, you could be picking them up from their shift at the factory or even the mines. That's right, unions fought to regulate child labor. They're also the reason we have vacation leave, sick pay, healthcare protections, and so much more. Without them, it would be up to us to rely on those greedy CEOs like this guy to give us those things out of the kindness of their hearts. And something tells me that if it's between your family's financial security and this guy buying a couple more yachts, this guy is going to go cruising away into the sunset without a second thought. We're far overdue for an update in labor protections and pay. Wealth inequality has continued to get worse and worse as these billionaires get greedier and greedier. Remember this graph from earlier? The one showing that CEOs get paid 400% more than their workers? That's grown exponentially since the 70s, when there wasn't a huge difference in how these two groups of people were paid. You can see that CEO pay has skyrocketed, and that little blue line at the bottom, that's almost completely straight. That's the growth in worker compensation. All workers are asking for is their fair share of the profits that their labor creates. Seems fair if you ask me. Also, that 40-hour work week I mentioned earlier is based on a single family income, where one parent typically didn't work and was available to take care of children and the housework, the most common, unpaid, full-time job in the world. We live in different times now, where many families have two parents working full-time jobs and still struggling to get by, while having to pay childcare costs out of pocket. Never mind that the U.S. is the only developed country with no federally mandated paid vacation leave and one of only 6 countries in the world with no paid parental leave. Now, when I lived in Belarus, this country under totalitarian rule, they got 24 vacation days a year, and 126 days of maternity leave, paid, 3 years unpaid. When you have a baby in the U.S., they expect you to drop trowel and be back after lunch. And even if you don't have a family to support, things have gotten so bad that in 93% of counties in the United States, 93%, a person working a full-time job, making the federal minimum wage, cannot afford a one-bedroom apartment. The fact is that the rich guys in charge will always look for ways to make their pockets fuller at the expense of the rest of us and our quality of life. But here's some hope. We outnumber them by a lot. So if we band together and support all the workers out there fighting for better treatment, we have a shot at changing things. So what can you do today to help? I'm going to tell you. Number 1, don't cross a picket line. Listen to unions. That may mean going without your Starbucks order on a day that the workers there are striking, but it's a small price to pay for solidarity. Number 2, join your union, and if you don't have one, start one in your workplace. Number 3, share your support for the strikes happening right now and spread the word to people who may not understand why they're so important. Even if it's not happening in your industry, this is a broader movement that if we let it can help all of us. Let us know what you think, and if you've done any of these things, leave us a comment below. And as always, like, follow, and share this video with your friends. And if we made you laugh or made you think, and you have some change to spare, support us by donating to keep the show running. Unlike this guy, I don't have a yacht, and I need all the help I can get. Alright, that's it for now. See you on the next episode of Grumble and Growl. Bye-bye.